Okay. Hello. This is gonna be one of those videos where you can't see me, and I hope you're okay with that. Um, this is gonna be a little bit of a transparency video. I don't know when I'm gonna post this, but I think the greatest and I'm exaggerating because there's definitely a lot worse things happening in the world, like physically, spiritually, mentally, whatever. But I think one of the worst things to happen, one of the greatest sufferings as like a conscious being, is asking for something specific and not opening yourself up enough to actually receive it. One thing that I was asking for, like in my mind and slightly out loud earlier today, were grammar. At least I can make myself laugh. Anyways, what I was asking for was genuine friends, like people who genuinely want to understand me and want to love me. And I know that's possible. I know it's out there, but you have to be open to receiving shit like that. And I also recognize very consciously that I am not in a place right now where I'm fully open to that. Like I tend to run away from things like that. And I think self-honesty is really important. Like the fact that I'm able to recognize that is really big, really powerful. And I'm appreciative for that. But another thing that I realized within asking for this is that and this could just be the way that I'm seeing the world because I see the world the way that I see the world. But a lot of people go around generally just not caring about others, and you could blame it on the fact that most of us are taught to have blinders on and to focus on ourselves, which is a necessity in a world where everybody is selfish and greedy and bleh. But duality exists. And while there's corruption, while there's greed, while there's chaos, while there's violence, there's also the other side of that. There's peace, there's love, there's community, and all that good stuff. And I know that. I recognize that. But once again, a lot of people genuinely just don't care about others. And I think there's different levels to this shit, obviously. There are the people who pretend like they care to get their own needs met. There are people who don't care at all, don't care to show or pretend that they care, whatever, apathetic. And then there's people who go out of their way to make sure that people feel seen and heard and appreciated. And those are the top tier people, by the way. Those are the types of friends that I want. And once again, I know they're out there. I've had friends, or at least I hope that I have had friends who were genuinely genuine, who just wanted the best for me, and I wanted the best for them. And once again, I recognize consciously that I'm not really at a place to receive and maintain these sorts of relationships. There's a car passing by. I guess that's how it looked before. I wasn't looking at the screen last time a car passed by, but that was LOL. One really cheesy thing that's coming through right now is the phrase be the light that you want to see in the world. And that's a really important phrase. Sure, you could be a grumpy grump and still see positivity and love and light in the world, but the best way to go about receiving love and light and all that is being that for other people. And that's not an easy thing. Once again, I'm going to be transparent. I know that I am a very loving person. I know that I'm a very caring person. But I also have had a conversation with myself where I recognize that I feel and I'm being very careful about my words because I could be wrong. It could just be I could be wrong. But I feel very strongly that it is in my best interest to be very discerning with where my attention goes, where my care goes, where my energy goes. And energy is the base of what we could say, because everything is energy. Thoughts are energy, attention is energy, worry is energy. And so I try to be very selective with what I put my energy toward. And One thing that I've been consciously recognizing is that I hold myself back a lot. I am still working through a lot of like trauma and a lot of like blockages. And I want to say, I want to say consciously I'm working on all of that stuff, but I don't really think so. I don't feel like I've been, like, I am hard on myself, but I also objectively feel like I could be doing a lot more in terms of like the sort of work that I'm doing, like energetic work, like emotional work, spiritual work, trauma work. Like there's a lot more I could be doing. I recognize that, and I have to be real with myself about that, because self-honesty is important. But that being said, I completely understand and resonate with the idea of just like cruising, just going with the flow, because there's a lot of density on this planet. I don't know if you've recognized. I don't know what other way I could say that in different ways. There's a lot of density on this planet. There's a lot of really heavy, unnecessary, debilitating energy that floats around in the atmosphere. You know, most of it comes from the big dogs. Most of it comes from the people who are in charge, who influence the world. But it trickles down. You know, everyone, almost everyone, I don't know if there are any exceptions, there's always an exception, but like everyone kind of holds fear and holds like negative, paranoid energies at some point. Like we all have it within us, you know. And I've definitely been allowing that to like get me a little bit. And it's funny because I kind of teeter. I'm a tarot reader. You might have seen some of my videos. I'm a tarot reader, and I teeter between the beliefs of like we create our reality. You know, a tarot reading is basically shifting reality, and we predict reality. You know, everything's set in stone, and we just, you know, whatever. Like I'm split between that because both are true. Duality is a thing. Like as I'm doing a reading, I genuinely feel like I have the ability to shift energies and like make things happen, but also I'm just reading what's the possibilities and what might happen, what should happen, what could happen, you know. Duality, two things can be true at the same time. And so that being said, I actually don't remember what I was about to say, but I do feel adjacent thought that the words that we speak are very important. The things that we say out loud, the things that we think to ourselves is very, it holds a lot of weight. And I say a lot of weight loosely, I guess, because depending on your awareness is really what matters. Like, the more that we grow in our awareness, I said this in a recent video, the more we grow in our awareness, the more we have to be careful, or the more it's suggested that we be careful what we're thinking, what we're projecting into the atmosphere. And I used to be really good about this. I talked about this in a previous tarot video. I used to be really good about my mental atmosphere. Like, I used to, like, be really good at affirmations and, like, saying affirmations even when I wasn't listening to them, like, just, you know, thinking them and thinking positively. I used to be really good at that. And I kind of fell off for whatever reasons. And I'm, like, slowly getting back to that place. But, like, whenever I'm, like, actively taking control of my inner and outer dialogue, the more I see like the fruits of my life, you know, the more like really great things happen. It could be because of the affirmations, it could not be because of the affirmations, but I remember specifically a couple weeks ago I met this person. I was like literally stopped on the street as I was going somewhere, and this guy was like he was like aggressively hitting on me, and like I say aggressively like exaggeratingly, but like it was nice, it was flattering. He like was hitting on me, and long story short, like I got his number, whatever. But like I remember specifically, like I noted to myself, like after the moment happened, that I was listening to affirmations. Like I was walking down the street and I had affirmations playing in my head, like or not in my head, but like on my headphones. And so I was like, right, this is This is basically, and once again, it could be because of affirmations. It could not be affirmations. Who knows? I do not know. If I was not listening to affirmations, if that moment would have happened, but it happened, and I was also listening to affirmations. So like that was like definitely a moment where I was like, yeah, I should get back into this. And so I try to regularly like implement affirmations and like mental health things into my day. I think it's really important. And there's this video that I want to watch actually when I get back to my space about dark entities and like spiritual attacks by Natalia Gross. It was released 2 days ago from as I'm recording. I'm going to try to link that in the description. If I don't, I'm going to try to remember, so hopefully I do. But yeah, like we live in a very dense reality, like there, and I am of the belief that over time things are getting better, but to some degree it's kind of an individual thing because we choose our own realities. And you know, when I was studying the whole Abraham Hicks New Earth thing, it seemed more like an individual thing, like not necessarily like the whole world, but just like if you do certain things, if you attune to your mind and your heart, like you will be in a sort of different atmosphere than people who haven't. And like I've definitely noticed that a lot of people walk around very fearful. You know, a lot of people interpret things instinctively to fear. You know, and we have our psychological reasons. You know, we've been taught to respond to things with fear. And once again, I could be wrong about that, but I really do feel like that's an individual thing. Like you have to like want it for yourself. And God bless. Back to what I said before. I think it really does suck when you want something consciously. Doggy, what are you doing? I think it really sucks when you want something consciously, but you are also not really at the level to receive. Like I said with the friends thing, like I witness opportunities all the time. Like I'm very in tune, but I hold myself back. I'm like, for whatever reasons, whatever conscious reasons. And you know, shoulda, coulda, woulda. We could always say like we could have done better, but like things happen how they happen, and we contribute to how they like. But at the same time, I'm sorry, I'm having one of those moments where I'm like all over the place. If you want to take a deep breath with me, we can take a deep breath. 1, 2, 3. If nothing else from this video, I hope you know that you can have anything that you want in this world. But it does take work. It does take a lot of mental effort, a lot of emotional effort. I think one thing that stops a lot of people from manifesting, if I could like talk out of my ass, is the emotional work that comes with like shifting reality. Like, because when we get into like quantum physics and all that shit, it's like it's a really complicated like thing. And I've heard it explained to me basically that when you are learning how to like master reality, when you're learning how to like manipulate energies, at some point you're going to have to face some really heavy dark energy. You know, whether we call it a test, whether we call it just like the flow of life, whatever it is, at some point you're going to have to face heavy energies. Like I've been there. I've definitely had to face some energies. I don't talk about it often, but like it's definitely an initiation sort of process. And a lot of people kind of like stop when they get to like heavy emotional or spiritual work. And it's like, I don't know where you are in your journey. I feel like somebody needs to hear that. Like, it's going to be difficult. 1444 on the clock as I say that. It's going to be difficult. There's going to be moments where you're like dreading everything. But like, like I said before in a previous video, there's no such thing as a storm that lasts forever. And it's, I don't want to say it's meant to make you stronger, but to some degree we can look at it as though it's meant to make you stronger. So I hope this video was helpful. Hope this was useful. Hope this did something. If nothing else, it felt good to like let certain words out of my body. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your attention. If you want to check out the links below, I'm going to try to put some links below. And thank you for being here. Hope you have a nice rest of your day or night or whatever time you're watching this. Deuces.